So what do you do when your job search is failing? And when I say failing, I mean you're not getting interviews. You're not getting even a response back when you send out your resume, and then of course you're not getting a job. Well, when your job search is failing, what a lot of people do, especially if their job search is failing and they need to pay their bills, which is every single one of us out there, is you end up taking a part-time or two part-time jobs, or you take a job in an area in a field that you just don't want to be in, but you take it because that's the only thing you can get and you need the money. Well, I had a call recently from a friend who said, Lou, I got a buddy of mine. I worked with him. He is 56 years old. He can't find a job. Nobody sends out resumes. He gets no response. He doesn't know what to do. I'd consider it a personal favor, Lou, if you'd contact him. So I did. I sent him an email and I said, hey, so and so asked me to give you contact you to talk to you about your having trouble finding a job. So I said, do me a favor, man. Send me your resume. Let me check it out. And then what we'll do, we'll set up a Zoom call. So he sent me his resume like right away. I Zoomed with him probably within the week, I think it was, and got him on Zoom and we talked. And I talked to him after, of course, I looked at his resume and I said, I've had a chance to check out your resume, and I can tell you right now that one of the reasons that you're not getting a call back, you're not getting an interview, is the fact that your resume is just stuffed with lots of things that don't need or shouldn't be in that resume. And it's really not organized. And I said, that's one of the problems that you're having. I said, but you've been in this industry for 30 years. Is there anybody, obviously, I'm thinking, obviously, that you've contacted people in your industry and you've networked and you're trying to find a job. And he started explaining to me why that hasn't worked out for him either. So what do you do when your job search is failing, and when it's failing when you're older? As I said, you take a couple part-time jobs, or maybe more than that. You work your rear end off and you come home tired and you're worn out. Well, what you got to do is, number one, is you got to look at what you're sending out. And that's pretty obvious to you out there. Look at what you're sending out, because if you're not getting a response whatsoever when you send out a resume, there's a good chance, I'd say it's very likely, that your resume and your cover letter are not up to par. They're not a sales tool. And I mentioned this guy is in sales. And for me, when you're in sales, you know how to sell, you know how to persuade, you know how to convince somebody to buy your product or buy your service. But lots of times we don't know how to sell ourselves. And that really is a big issue. So when your job search is failing, you don't know, you're not selling yourself. And again, I mentioned the resume, I mentioned the cover letter. That's got to be fixed. Number one, it's got to be fixed. And by the way, I did create a video recently, and it was about cover letters, how to create a powerful cover letter that hiring managers can't resist. I'll put a link up here. You can check it out, and I've also got a link so that you can get the cover letter if you want your own copy. But number one, you got to look at what you're doing, and you got to look at your cover letter, you got to look at your resume. So we know that, and I recommend finding somebody to help you to do it. Because it's obvious you don't know how to do it. But then, again, I go back to the fact we don't know how to sell ourselves. So we don't know how, when we're talking on the phone or on a Zoom, we don't know, we're not prepared to sell ourselves. What happens is we rely on this experience that we've had over the course of years, and we think that's the magic potion. That's what's going to get us a job, but it doesn't. And not in a competitive environment where a lot of the hiring managers want younger people. And it's funny, I spoke to a woman yesterday at one of the major nonprofit organizations, and she is older, and she was telling me she was admitting to me how we don't hire people who are older, and we don't hire them because of the insurance expense. I was honestly surprised that she was admitting this, but she's in the same boat and trying to find a job. But she's telling me this, and I know it is a competitive environment out there. It's a competitive environment out there. That younger people are more in demand than a little bit older people, only because hiring managers don't understand the value of an older person. So, we need to should learn how to hire ourselves, and unfortunately, not a lot of us even attempt to do that. we should, I believe, watch YouTube videos. To me, that's the easiest way to learn. I mean, yeah, I could read a book and I love reading, but I look at a lot of YouTube videos. So I'm saying we need to prepare ourselves. We need to understand that we are not going to get by just on our God-given talent. We're not going to get by because we've got 30 years of experience in an industry. We've got to prepare and we've got to fight and we got to know this is a battle that we are going to be engaging in. And if we're going to be engaging in that battle, you want to go in there prepared. So why do I go back? So why does our job search fail? Our job search fails because we're not prepared. We don't send out the right material. We don't know how to answer the interview questions, and there's like 8 standard interview questions. I got a bunch of videos on how to answer interview questions, and I think they're really geared more towards people who are a bit older, like myself, or maybe like you. That when we're answering these questions, we want to know how to answer them in a way that is going to make us look attractive. I almost want to say make us look younger, but that's not going to happen because, physically we know what we look like and we look good. We look good. So I'm saying is you got to go in prepared. You got to make sure you've got the right material. You got to know how to sell yourself. You can't rely on that experience that you've got those decades of experience. You can't rely on that. So let me get back to this gentleman. So I ended up sitting down with him. I actually met with him. First of all, I redid his cover letter. I redid his resume. He did get. I spoke to him pretty quickly just a few days ago, and he said, "Yeah, Lou, you helped me out. What you sent me helped me." He said he did get an interview scheduled. He did get a job offer, but the job offer was actually for something that he had applied for before he and I sat down. But the point is, at least he had the understanding that he needed help, and I give him a lot of credit for that. 56-year-old guy, kind of gruff guy, been around the block, and he's reaching out and saying, "Man, I need help," and he sought it, and you can find someone out there who can help you, maybe a career coach or whatever. But you got to go in prepared. You can't rely on what you have. I don't want to keep repeating myself. I don't want to be redundant. But I want to suggest that you do those things if your job search rather is failing. It's probably failing just because you haven't done some of the things that you really do need to do. It's not failing because you don't have the skills, you don't have the talent. It's not failing for those reasons. It only could be failing because you just haven't prepared yourself. Well, that's all I want to say. I think this video is probably long enough, but I do want to ask you, I should mention a couple things. One is I did say, if you want a copy of the cover letter, number one, watch the video. I'll put a link, as I said, there's a link, it'll be in the description box as well. Check out the cover letter. It's free. You just look at it. So check that out. I also have a link to a free career aptitude test. I'm going to put that, I just thought about it. I'm going to put that in the description box. It's free. Check it out. It's from CareerFitter. I really like these guys. They do have a paid version. I'm an affiliate with them, but you don't got to get the paid version. You can get great information just with the free one. So don't worry about getting their premium one because you do have to pay $20 for that. But it's up to you, but my recommendation is look at the free one. I think that'll help you. So those two things, subscribe to that. To subscribe to Over 50 TV, I have a YouTube channel called Side Hustle Rules. If you're thinking your next big career move is to launch your own business, I'm going to say, man, I think that's a great option. So consider starting a business and check out Side Hustle Rules. I'll put a link to that YouTube channel in the description box, so you can check that out too. So I hope this video helped you. It's kind of one of those ones where I kind of do like an impromptu video because I know that there are job searchers out there that are just failing. And I know there are people out there who are miserable and upset because it's not working out for them. But it just maybe is the fact that you're not prepared. You're not really thoroughly prepared for that fight, But when you do win, you're going to win big. So don't give up. That's my recommendation to all of you people out there, all of you folks out there. Well, again, this is Lou Reyes. I don't know if I even mentioned my name, but most of you know me by now. This is Lou Reyes with Over 50 TV. I want to thank you for watching this video. And like I always say, have a great day, everybody.